welcome to Artistic Adventures. So we just finished that slowed down face-up series where I showed you in slow motion, well not slow motion, but regular motion, how to work. So now we're going to go to this Clawdeen doll and give her a face-up, and I'm going to make a wig for her too, but I'm not going to do that on camera because I've done wigs on lots of other videos that you can watch. So we're just going to give her a face up, and we're going to speed this one up a little bit so we can get the whole thing in one video and sort of make use of all the techniques that I showed you in the face up series. So if you want to see slowed down versions of how to do this, check out my face up series and you'll see me go through all this. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut off her ears because I'm going to make her a wig cap, and that'll go over her scalp and hide the holes for the ears. So now we want to get rid of the hair too, and I'm going to just make an incision with my X-Acto below where the ear holes are, around, I guess sort of at the temple of her temple, cut around the back of the head all the way around to the other temple, and it looks like that inside. This is that really gummy, waxy, greasy kind of glue. It's really icky. So I'm using this tool, this sort of flat metal tool, and just sort of scraping along the inside of the scalp, and that tends to pull the hair out pretty well. Now this doll has a part, and when you have that, they put 2 rows of the little hair plugs really close together. Those are a little harder to get out, so I was using my hemostat pliers to pull those hairs out. But in general, if it doesn't have that, if it's just the regular hair plugs, then that that flat tool will work really great. So this is a tool that I use for sculpting clay, and it works really good for this. And these are my hemostats that I'm using to pull out those really stubborn hair parts. Now you can get most of all the hair out with this, and then you can go back in and use some tweezers to pull out those final fine hairs. You want to get all these hairs out. Otherwise, when you put the matte medium on the face, it's sort of sticky and those little hairs will stick to it. So just a good pair of tweezers and you can pull out those final remaining straggling hairs that didn't come out when you raked the inside of the head. And once you get all that done, then you can use some glue to glue the head back down, and I used the E6000. Now I'm using a little bit of acetone. I poured some in the cap of the bottle and some Q-tips to take the paint off of her face. I'm using Q-tips because I just painted my own nails and I don't want to use just a plain piece of cotton and take off my nail polish as well as her face paint. So anyway, you can use either a cotton ball or Q-tips or whatever you want to use, tissue, and get rid of that paint on her face. Try not to get any of the acetone down on the body, just keep it on the face because they're two different types of plastic. Now for the wig cap, and I do this in other videos, I'm not going to show you exactly how to do it, but I did put plastic over her head and some t-shirt material which I glued and let dry, and this will be the cap that will cover up her head. Now I'm using the matte medium that I just showed you, the Liquitex, and for the first coat I'm using a brush to put it on. Subsequent coats I put on with an airbrush so it doesn't disturb the colors, but this first coat I am putting on with a brush. Actually put on a couple of coats and I let that dry for a few hours. All right, and I went ahead and put her wig on her off camera and covered it up with paper towel so we can keep it clean. And we're just going to go ahead and start with the process of putting down colors on her face. As usual, I just sort of outline the eyes and the pupils first to make sure I get everything in the position that I want them. And now I'm putting down some white around the iris area, and then I also put some white inside the iris area because I'm going to put some light blue down on top of that. I put some darker color, sort of a brownish red in her lips, and now I'm putting some brown on the eyebrows, and now going back into the eyes with some black to make the colors a little bit darker, and also into the eyebrows. As always with this process, it's a matter of layering the colors in to get the effect that you want. I did start using some pastels, light blue on her eyes, but it really wasn't adhering to the face as much as I wanted to. So I decided to just go ahead and use my colored pencils to finish up the doll. So I'm putting some light blue just around more like 3/4 of the top of the eye, not all the way down to the bottom, letting the white show through down there. So that'll be sort of the color of her eyes, sort of a light bluish gray. And then I am going to put some darker colors up at the top to give it some shading. So now just going in darkening some of those lines with my black pencil and continuing to layer in some colors using some brown for the pupil, a dark brown, and then going back over it with some black. Now I'm going to go off camera and spray some coats of the matte medium down with my airbrush, and we come back after that's finished and we can add some more layers of color to her face. So I'm going back in with that light brown, light blue, to try to get a little bit more of that blue color on her eye and just darkening up the pupils and adding some more white to the sclera. I did put some black creases above her eyelids. I think you can see that. And just darkening up that top part to give the top area shadow, because you do have that shadow with the overhang of your brow and the upper eyelid. And she's coming along pretty well. I hope you're working along with your own doll, or maybe you have your own Clawdeen doll that you could work along with me and make use of all those techniques. I'm still looking for you guys to post some on our Facebook site. I want to see your work. Really excited to see what you're doing. I'm putting some pink on her cheek. I used some light pink also up above her eyes on the inner side, and then some light blue on the lid over the eye. A little bit darker brownish pink underneath the light pink, and then I'm shading around the nose and under the bottom lip. And remember, if this is your first time seeing a video, I'd show all of this in slower motion in my Face Up series, but we're trying to get all of this in one video, so we're back to going at a faster mode. I did the slower series so you guys could see more in detail exactly how I'm drawing and how the different features affect the doll's expression. So check that out if you haven't seen it already. And still just darkening everything up, darkening the eyes. And when you put that powder down, like I put the light blue over the eyes, it sort of mutes the black lines of the eyes. So I had to go back over those. And I'm trying to give her more of a natural look. I'm not trying to make her look very fantastic. Just want her to have a nice, soft, natural look. So not a lot of really dramatic makeup or anything like that. Putting a few white marks in as lines on her lips and her eyebrows, and also a little bit darker red, putting those vertical lines in because our lips have those creases. And I did put some blue on either side of the nose at the bridge of the nose. And now for a couple of little dots to give her the sparkle in her eye. And that's pretty much it for the face up. So let's take off her paper towel hair cover and let you see how she looks with her hair. I decided to do the white hair because I was giving her the blue eyes and I thought it was more of a dramatic look. And here's the finished product. So now we have to decide what costume that we would like to see her in. In the comments below, tell me what costume you think would be appropriate for her and we'll make something on our video. All right, thanks for watching and please subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Thanks and bye.